Dear friends, on the behalf of Asian Rational Society, I'd like to appreciate all the great efforts and action taken by IHEU to highlight the problems of untouchability and efforts to find the alternatives to this inhuman social practice on the world stage. As we all know, India and Nepal are mainly Hindu societies, and social structure in both countries are based upon Manu's ethical and inhuman divisions. Let us highlight Manu's social code of practice with the people of the world who may be not aware of this curable social cancer, but I think everybody knows over here. With the help and development of science, the technology world has come closer for those who can benefit from the advancement. Therefore, I appeal to the progressive people of the world that our prime responsibility and responsible thinkers is to extend our help and raise our voice for those who are made disabled, voiceless, and mentally retarded and regarded as servants from the centuries. They have been made to sit on the lowest and last step of social ladder. Manu creations of 4 varnas were designed to keep Brahmin at the highest position and descending to Khatris, Vaishya, and ending on the Shudras, the lowest. Shudras have been denied all human rights. He is expected and required to be serving as a slave to upper class. Just imagine the fortified condition in which this large section of the society is forced to live, and how badly they are mentally and physically scared forever. According to the Hindu beliefs, one can be born as a human after completing a circle of 80 lakhs of different forms of life, and on the top of that, one has to do good deeds in the past life to achieve good life here, or vice versa. Majority of people fall in these myths. Untouchability is the creation of Manu's myths of caste system. As a result of this, 80% of people in India are paying the price in the form of outright poverty, illiteracy, unemployment, and sex discrimination, and infanticide of girl child. Above all, existing of untouchability is a cruel joke with the humankind even today. Some Hindu scholars attempt to justify Manu's division of Hindu society into 4 varna as a sort of division of labor which leads to efficiency. But they ignore the fact that it ultimately leads to a fortification which forbids to move from one caste to other. They fail to justify why an able person from one caste cannot do the work that is assigned to another. Why a high caste would hate the manual jobs done by a Shudra. In India, manual jobs are considered dirty and fit only for Shudras. That is one of the reasons why nobody wants to do manual jobs in India. In Western countries, these same high caste Hindu have no problem doing cleaning jobs, so-called dirty jobs. The caste system is not only a dominant force back at home, it widely exists in UK and other places where Hindus live. The way of thinking in Hindu society is the same here in UK as back in India. So caste system and its related myths are still in force in the UK. One can see the existence of caste mentality through caste-based its related myths and force One can see the existence of caste mentality through caste-based 400 Sikh and Hindu temples in England and community centers like Sikh Temple, Ravidas Community Center, Ravidas Sikh Temple, Valmiki Center, Vishwakarma Gurdwaras and temples, Ramgarhia's Community Center alike, and Sikh temples in every city where Indians live. Secondly, we come across the caste-based matrimonials in local Indian newspapers. In Birmingham alone, there are around 44 Sikh temples and 5 Hindu temples, and it is not hard to acknowledge which caste they belong to if you go to these temples. The caste system manifests itself in other forms as well, like caste-based car numbers, car plates like Jat, Sikh, Sharmas, and Pandit. You can see them anywhere. One can see youngsters wearing T-shirts with slogans like Jat da Put. Jat is they call high caste. Jat da Put on their T-shirts. Caste-based songs can be heard all day on the radios and on the television, glorifying one caste or the other. Is there any water? This, some water, please. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's all right. Caste-based songs can be heard on the radio all day, and glorifying one caste to another. There was a case of an employee at a factory owned by so-called lower caste, and that employee used to take her own bottle of water to her workplace to drink because she belonged to the upper caste. In early 70s, thank you. In Sikh temple in Birmingham, a lower caste was stopped serving food to the higher castes. The impact and the undue pressure of upper caste is not as severe in the UK because economic security and independency is not experienced to that level by the lower caste or untouchable in here UK. Untouchables are not facing the same problems as they face back home. The main reason being their livelihood does not depend on the mercy of upper castes. UK government policy of equality and equal opportunities for all bar this type of discrimination to a great extent. Under this policy, everybody's health and education and unemployment was covered up to now actually, by the government. Even at the time of unemployment, your basic needs are met by the state funding. But at the same time, the equal opportunities cannot effectively abolish the caste or culture beliefs in Indian society, but can help untouchable from any financial dependency on the high caste. In the developed societies, interracial marriages are a common phenomena, and a fear of racist repercussion is minor. In Hindu society, interracial marriages are becoming easily acceptable compared with intercaste marriages. Fear of death and intimidation and harassment remains high for the couple in this type of relationship. Couple faced boycott from their high caste parents or relatives. Coming back to the issue of caste system in the UK, I would like to bring to your notice that in the year 1850, there were around 40,000 Indians, and in 1900, there were around 17,000 Indians living in the UK. No traces of caste system or problems were noticed at this time. The reason could be that no untouchable were allowed to come to England or abroad out of India due to the lack of resources, social restrictions, and no backing of the law to buy a property or to keep, if you want to buy, have a passport, you need a property before. These were the fundamental reason for the untouchables not being able to migrate to England. Since 1950s, after independence of India, basic rights for untouchables were advocated and enshrined in the Constitution of India, mainly by Dr. Ambedkar. Very few untouchables have benefited from this freedom provided by the Constitution. Before 1960s, men only came to the England from various castes, and later their families joined them. On the basis of these grounds conditions, caste system started to show its signs in the UK when their daughters and sons were marriageable life. According to the Guardian newspaper, 4th July 2006, titled "Caste Divide is Blighting Indian Communities in the UK," government urged to act to help 50,000 Dalits, Jeremy Corbyn, MP of Islington North, said. He was aware of caste discrimination abroad, but was horrified to realize that caste discrimination has been exploited. He added, "This is an issue which the government and all those concerned about good community relations need to address." Former Mayor of Coventry, Mr. Ram Lakha, told researchers how he faced discrimination from upper caste voters when seeking election in largely Indian areas. During campaigning, Mr. Lakha said, "I was told that I would not get people's vote as I was a Chamar, so I filed my nomination in a non-Asian constituency and was able to win." He said it was customary for Indian community to honor each new mayor, yet his achievement had not been recognized in this fashion. Everyone in the Indian community knows how the things are, and it will take a long time to die out. The recent events in Vienna, in Austria, are an example of how the higher caste want to control lower caste in their daily life. Earlier, high caste had pushed lower caste out of their worshiping place. When lower caste had built their own worshiping place, temples, then high caste started interfering in their way of worship, and this caused all the violence in Vienna and in parts of India. Dear friends, Asian National Society Britain is aware of social structure and its implication in India and abroad. The majority of people are religious and superstitious. ARSB believes in the equality and equal opportunities for all, which are not existing in our Indian social structures and our way of life. ARSB believes that these inhuman and unethical social structures are irrelevant and lead to human suffering. Superstitions are the main reason for the exploitation of Indian people at large. Asian National Society aims to raise scientific awareness among the Asian community. We have a dream that one day we all will treat one another as equal, irrespective of their caste, color, creed, and nationality. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhagwant. I think the most important point he made is about how, in spite of the very good exposure and modern education, the immigrants from India, they have faithfully maintained the caste mentality.